Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar, run for the UKV, look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days. It's remaining very unsettled over the next 5 days, but it is turning quite a bit colder as we head into the latter part of this week. We are going to be seeing northerly winds arrive in a proper Arctic air mass for the first time in a number of weeks. Now, the biggest issue we're going to see with this is overnight frost and the generally pretty cold feel out there. Of course, it is heading towards the latter part of March now, so anything in terms of significant snow is very low in terms of risk, but still in some areas the risk of winteriness is there. And then we'll have a look at some of the longer range charts, which continue to show very unsettled conditions into the longer term. And as I said, that medium term, pretty cold unsettled conditions with that. We could see that jet stream push pretty far southwards at the end of March. And not only, as I said, will that allow cold air to seep in, but it will allow low pressure just to sit over the top of us. So yeah, could be turning even more unsettled than it is now as we head into the final days of March. But we'll have a look at that in detail in the second half of the video. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe. And remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. Now, if you start on the live radar, you can see we do have some rain moving in from the southwest at the moment, but for most further north and eastwards, it is dry. However, it has been pretty cloudy today, so pretty horrible, with very little sunshine. And, of course, under some of that thicker cloud, we have seen some outbreaks of drizzle. But for most, it has been relatively dry. The winds are still southwesterly, so it's actually been very mild today, even though it's not been particularly pleasant and no sunshine or anything. It has been mild temperatures once again in and around that 14 to 16 degree mark, which is pretty decent for the time of year. Could be 10 degrees lower this time next week. Now, if you go over to the latest UKV and have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days, unfortunately, the 3 p.m. run is only just coming out, so we can only get out to Thursday evening there. So we will actually have a look at the 3 a.m. run, as that will get us out slightly further. You can see over the coming hours that rain will continue moving northwards and eastwards and give quite a rainy evening for many. But it should hopefully clear some of the heaviest stuff by the morning, just with some lingering in the north and the west into Wednesday. As Wednesday moves on, it's another cloudy day with, again, outbreaks of precipitation in places. But again, heaviest stuff, as I said, will be overnight tonight into tomorrow. As we head into Thursday, another weather front coming in, but again, that's coming in from the northwest, showing the change in wind direction. And then as we head into Friday, colder air starts to move in. You can see that because it's slightly drier, so there's less cloud around, and more of the showers that do occur will be having a wintry flavour to them. As we head through Friday, those showers continue again, quite a widespread wintry flavour over the higher ground, and then as you can see into the weekend, again, lots of showers coming in on this pretty unsettled flow. Again, this sort of pattern 2 months ago would have produced widespread wintriness. Here, though, we're only looking at wintriness in the heaviest showers and over the higher ground, because we are quite far into spring now to see anything significant. If you look at those upper air temperatures, you can see into Wednesday, and then slowly through Thursday into Friday, you can see that colder air mass properly pushing in and sustaining itself all the way into the weekend. Again, it's nothing ridiculous. It's not minus 10 or minus 15 degrees at Angel VHPA, but it's around the minus 5 to minus 8 area, which is significantly below average for the time of year and will make it feel pretty cold. It is a proper Arctic air mass. As you can see, the dew points are towards the low single digits, if not below freezing at times. Again, symbolic of a proper cold, dry Arctic air mass. Now, if you look at the max temperatures, you can see this afternoon, temperatures up towards the mid-teens. As we head into tomorrow, a similar story. Again, mid-teens further south and eastwards. Into Thursday, again, could just about reach the low teens, maybe 12 to 14 degrees in the south. But look what happens on Friday. Maybe 12 degrees in the southeast, but further north and westwards, mid to high single digits. And into Saturday, potentially a bit of an overnight frost there. And by Saturday afternoon, look at that, struggling around the 4 to 8 degree mark. And again, that doesn't add on the wind chill, which will make it a good few degrees colder than that for the feel-like temperature. And then overnight, again, could be seeing those temperatures drop away towards freezing, but it will very much depend on shower activity and on cloud amounts, as that will hold temperatures up this time of year because, of course, the overnight hours, the night time is now shorter than daytime, so it does get increasingly more difficult to see those temperatures plummet away without a severely cold air mass. So we'll have to just see with those frosts, or the frost potential, it will come and go depending on what exact run has in terms of the precipitation and the cloud amounts. But regardless, it is going to be cold as we head into the weekend and the start of next week. Now we can see the overall synoptic pattern on the latest GFS run. You can see westerly winds at the moment, that's why it's not particularly cold, and it's actually pretty mild. But look at the low pressure system on Friday, heads towards Scandinavia, high pressure heads towards Greenland, and we see a northerly wind arrive. Now it's not a proper massive block, so it's not going to be a sustained severe cold or anything like that, but below average, and eventually see the jet stream pushes very far south, which allows colder air to seep in from the north. We can look at those upper air temperatures dropping down to -5 initially and holding around -5, and you can see low pressure sat to our south with the jet stream all the way towards Spain and Portugal. You can see this diving southwards here. It leaves us in a pocket of cool, cold air, but lots of low pressure. You can see that here with easterly winds, but it's not going to be a cold or a wintry easterly wind. It's just going to be a soggy easterly wind and feeling cold. You see upper troughs developing, so lots of showers, and it's going to be pretty miserable indeed all the way to 384 hours. And you can see this if we put on the accumulated precipitation. Just look at all the rain that is going to fall in this kink in the isobars. You can see notably the amount of precipitation further southwards because that's where the jet stream dips, and it's just in this whole pocket here where we're seeing a lot of rain indeed. So yeah, not a good sign if you want something drier and warmer. Not only is it going to remain very unsettled like it has been recently, it is going to remain, turn quite a bit colder. And you can see this much better on the ensemble chart, which we'll have a look at in a minute to illustrate that colder temperatures better. If we look at the GM, again, westerly winds at the moment, southwesterlies, and then eventually that northerly wind arrives. Similar to the GFS, the low pressure systems track further southwards with the jet stream and sit over the top of us. But there's not as much of a northerly or easterly wind here, which means the air masses are not quite as cold, but it still is below average, and we're still sat under low pressure. So even though it's not quite as cool or cold as the GFS, it is as unsettled, if not more unsettled, with lots of rain spiraling around, keeping us horribly bogged down in winter type weather, where we just see relentless rain and cold conditions. Not what we want to be seeing as we head towards the second month of spring. But as I said, this could be an effect of the southern stratospheric warming, which can bring very cold conditions, or it can bring moderately cold conditions like this, looking likely to be where the jet stream pushes southwards, traps low pressure over the top of us. Could be really horrible indeed if this comes off. Still quite a big if there, because things can change at very short notice. If you look at the latest ECMWF, again, this is the midnight run, it's the midday run, only just started running. Again, northerly winds arriving later this week. Eventually, low pressure sits over top of us, goes unsettled, if not stormy there, towards day 7 and 8. Really horrible with the jet stream tracking very far southwards, and again, cold air masses around us. So yeah, not looking good at all. And if we compare finally to the ensembles, you can see this from the latest GFS, above average over the next few days. Do cherish these mid-teens days. Of course, we're going to see plenty more of that in the coming months, but in the next couple of weeks, look at those upper air temperatures drop away by around 15 degrees through Friday and Saturday, and then slowly recover towards average again towards the start of April. But majority of ensemble members, including the GFS operational, they really have it struggling to get much above sort of -2 or 3 all the way into the final days of March, where it finally recovers towards average. Lots of precipitation associated with this. So yeah, that overall sort of statement I've been saying, cold and unsettled, just is exemplified here on the ensemble chart. TB temperatures can take a tumble as well. Look at that, 15, 16 degrees next couple of days. But then look at that as we head into the weekend, the start of next week, may struggles get much above 8 to 10 degrees, and that's the actual temperature, not the feel like, which would be a couple of degrees colder. And then, of course, if we compare to the ECMWF, look at the midnight run, pretty similar. above average over the next couple of days, well below average towards the weekend. Maybe not as much below average as the GFS, so perhaps not quite as bullish with those upper air temperatures, and again slowly recovering into the early days or latter part of March, early part of April. But look at the precipitation, it is quite big as well. And remember, we're looking at London here, which traditionally isn't the wettest areas. Normally further westwards is. If we look at Exeter, for example, which we'd expect to be even wetter, look at the size of those precipitation spikes. So yeah, could be a lot more rain to come. The next few days actually don't look too bad, relative speaking, but still we'll see rain around. But yeah, could get really quite disruptive and cold as we head over the next few weeks. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.